everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me, testing out a few new products that I have bought recently. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I did this look, then please keep watching. So the first product I'm going to be using is the Sweet Cotton Pore Cover Base from Holika. Looks like this. I've had this for about like a month or two now, and I've tried it quite a few times, and so far I like it a lot. So that one's not really a super new product, but I do like using this one. It just feels really nice on the skin, and it kind of like fills my pores. So the next thing I'm going to use, I've already talked about before and I've used a few times. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion. This one is in the mint color. I did a video last week on kind of like a battle of the cushion correctors, and I tried out the Wet n Wild ones. I also tried out some Mimi Box ones, and so if you guys haven't seen that video, I'll have it like linked above or something. But yeah, so I definitely think, at least for me, I really like the Wet n Wild ones more. They're a little bit easier to work with. They're also a little bit more pigmented. So I don't know, and they're cheaper. They're cheaper too. So the only thing I don't like about the Wet n Wild one is like the packaging of it is like all these separate pieces, and the Mimi Box one is like literally just the cushion and the actual compact, so it's like really simple to use, and you don't have to worry about like all these little pieces and everything. So that's the one thing that is not my favorite about the Wet n Wild one, but I can overlook it because I honestly I just like it more. I just like it more. So that is with the green color. I don't really do too much because you actually can kind of end up looking a little green if you go overboard with that. And then the other one I have been really liking is the Dark Circles one. So it's like this peach colored one. This one has just been like one of my favorites. It makes a big difference. And so I like to use this on my under eyes. And I'll kind of like sometimes go over my lids as well to kind of like cancel out any of that darkness or any just like discoloration in general. And I also think it's a good like pre-step for like concealer. It kind of like does a lot more of the work for like color correcting, so then the concealer can like actually get like a nice color match to my face rather than like being like super I don't know, like just really obvious looking. So I think you can see just like how much it brightened up my under eyes. So I've really been liking this one. If you struggle with dark under eyes, I do have to say that this one is a little bit more suited if a little bit of discoloration, like if you have really dark ones, or if your skin is a little bit deeper than mine, then this one actually might not be the best, because it is, I would say it's a pretty fairly light color, but at least for me and for my issues, it does a pretty good job at correcting some of that darkness. And then the other colors that I have, the yellow and the purple, I just don't really know exactly how to use these. I got them all because like I wanted to be able to review them and everything, but I'm just not sure like where on my face do I need to use the purple. Like I know purple will cancel yellowness, but it also kind of has a bit of a brightening effect, so I'm gonna try just a little bit of it right here. I don't need much or anything because I'm not really trying to like color correct anything so much. It's more of just kind of like brighten it with that lavender kind of color, and I'll see how it works. But as far as that yellow color, I'm also not quite sure where exactly I would personally like find a whole lot of use for it. So I'm just like playing around with this and seeing like how I can work it into my everyday routine, or you know, just in my skin type in general. But overall I've been like really liking these a lot. The next thing I got is called, I got this from Ulta, and it's one of the e.l.f. products. It's called the Beautifully Bare Liquid Highlighter, and it's in the color Illuminating. It just looks like this. There's like literally no like names on this at all, so I'm probably gonna like forget what this is. It just literally says e.l.f. So this is like a liquid highlighter. I'm gonna actually, first I'm gonna shake it up because these like are notorious for like separating and kind of like having that oily kind of finish to it. You could also mix this into a foundation if you wanted, but I'm just going to apply it all over my face. I'm gonna kind of like take it on my hands a bit. It does have a tiny bit of a greasy feeling, but I'm gonna kind of focus it mainly where I would put highlighter. But I don't want to put too much of it just like straight onto my skin, because like I said, it does have a tiny bit of a greasy feeling. It's definitely not the worst. Okay, so that is with it on bare skin. Now I'm going to move on to foundation. So I have two foundations here. These are both from Wet n Wild. These are the Photo Focus foundation. And I have two colors. I have Shell Ivory and I have Rose Ivory. And one is neutral and one is cool, but they are super similar. Like, I can barely tell. I didn't know which one would match me better because I was buying them online. I can put like a tiny dab, so let's see. This one is Rose Ivory, and then this one is Shell Ivory. I wonder if this will even, I feel like I'll even be able to tell. It's super subtle. I think I'll just go with the neutral, so Shell Ivory. So I'll just leave that and blend it in and apply this. I like that this has a little like scoop kind of applicator to it. My favorite applicators for foundation is like whenever they have like a pump, but if it's not gonna have a pump, I think this is like the next best thing. So I'm definitely like, I like that it has that little scooper. Real Technique sponge, and I've only used this foundation a couple times, so I'm still like coming up with what I think about it. But off like a very first kind of impression, it reminds me a bit of like the Revlon Color Stay foundation. And I'm typically not one of those people who are like really good at like telling if like foundation like formulas are like super similar to something else. So for me, I think it's pretty similar if I'm able to distinguish that it seems pretty similar to the Color Stay one. I haven't had that one in quite a few years, just because it's getting so freaking expensive. It's like $15 for like a drugstore foundation, which is, it's up there. This is like $5 or $6, so I'm like really not about paying a lot for like foundation and stuff, especially like drugstore stuff. I mean, I just feel like there's a lot of, you know, foundations that aren't super expensive. One of my other favorite ones, this one I also bought, it's the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation, which I've had like so many bottles of. It was one of my favorite foundations and I just haven't had it for a while, so I got another one of those. That was one of my favorite ones. I used that like consistently like through college. I loved that one. So I'm gonna use that one again soon, but I do have quite a bit of foundation at the moment, so just trying out new things. Yeah, so it also kind of has that same kind of like a painty kind of smell as the Revlon Color Stay one, which I've never really liked that scent, but it does have a very similar scent, and it kind of like reminds me of the finish of it. So I don't know, so far I like it. I don't have any complaints. I'll have to like really pay attention to like how it wears and stuff, but honestly, all foundations never look good on me. Whenever I see people do those videos where they do like check-ins after so many hours and stuff, and like the foundation like looks perfect on them, I'm like, how does your skin still look good? Because like any foundation, really like any foundation, even if I love it, it all wears just terribly on my skin. Then for my contour, I'm gonna go back to my Profushion palette. I do have the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion bronzer one, and I've tried that a few times and I definitely like it, but it's just a little bit more work for me to kind of like apply my contour, like a cream contour and things like that. So it's still a good product, but it's just not one that I super love. So that's why I am going back to my powder contour. I just find it a lot easier for me to apply, and I like the color tone of this one more. It's a little bit more cool toned, so it kind of like suits me just a little bit better. Then for blush, I'm going to use my usual, the e.l.f. Sweet Retreat Mineral Blush. So a lot of these aren't new products at all, but for my highlighter, I do have something really cool to try out, which I'm kind of like a little nervous about, but we will see. So now for highlighter, I have 3 different ones I'm going to choose from. I don't know which one I'm going to do yet, but I don't know how I missed these. These have been out for probably a couple months now, but somehow they just completely flew by me, and I didn't see anything about it until like the other day on Instagram. And these are the NYX Duochromatic Illuminating powders. So they look like this. I think they had like 5 or 6 colors. I only got 3 of them. I was gonna get all of them, but then I just thought like there were 2 colors that I just know wouldn't have really like fit my skin or anything, and I was just like, don't go crazy. Just get the ones that you want, or the ones that will at least maybe work. So I think for today I'm just gonna go with the Duochromatic one in the color Snow Rose. So let's see. Again, these are like super soft powders, so be careful with them because I was just so sad. Like I had just opened it and then I dropped it on the floor, so that was really aggravating. Wow, can you see? I don't know if you can see, but you can definitely see like there is a pink kind of pearly highlight on. So that is with the highlighter, and that is without. Wow. So that's definitely interesting. I think the deeper the skin tone you have, the more vibrant the actual like reflex kind of color would be. So that's interesting. It's a little, I mean, I still wouldn't even call this subtle, but I feel like the darker the skin you have, the more it would show up. So I don't know. There's like a little up close of the highlighter, so I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I feel like it's still subtle enough to be wearable for me. So now I'm gonna move on to eyes, and I'm going to use my Urban Decay Primer Potion. So next for shadows, I'm gonna use my Etude House in the Cafe palette. I'm gonna use just some of these like neutral brown colors for the crease. Nothing super unique or anything, but I'm gonna do something different today. But first with my base, just going to apply that to the crease and blend it in. And now I'm going to use, this is the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the color Purple. I haven't used this in quite a while, but I'm going to apply this all over my lid. Then I'm gonna blend it with my finger. I don't wanna like overload my eye with too much color, so that's why I'm gonna kind of do it in layers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Lavender Steel highlighter from NYX, and I'm going to use this as an eyeshadow because I'm kind of interested to see what that would look like. So I'm just going to pick some of that up on my brush. I'm going to put it right over the top of the base. So that is actually really pretty. Then I'm going to take some of that dark brown and bring it to the lower lash line. Then I'm going to take some of that again and apply it to the lower and in the inner corner. Then I'm just going to take a tiny bit of a matte black and further deepen that kind of outer corner. So that is the eyeshadow. I feel like it's not really coming across on camera as duochrome-y in real life, but it's really pretty. So I definitely like especially using this for an eyeshadow. So if I don't really like how it looks on my skin, then I can definitely work it in as an eyeshadow. So next I'm just gonna line my upper lash line. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. I'm not using any new products. So next I'm just gonna take a little bit of black eyeliner and I'm gonna apply that to the lower outer lash line. Then I'm going to take just a little bit of that matte black eyeshadow and I'm going to kind of smudge the lower liner just a bit. Then I'm going to finish it off with some mascara and I'll do my brows and then I'll come back and share with you guys the finished look. So that's pretty much it for the eyes, and I want to kind of keep it simple on the lips just because like I kind of got a lot going on up top. So I'm going to use the NYX High Voltage lipstick in the color French Kiss. And then I just added a little bit of this, what is this called? A Skin Food, what the hell is this called? Vita Lip Color Lip Lacquer in the color, I don't know what the color is. It's this one. I think it's like a grapefruit color or something, but I just kind of did a little bit, just what was like left on the brush, just to kind of like barely lighten or pink up, I guess, the NYX color. So that is it for this Get Ready With Me. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, link is below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.